Hi again, everybody, and welcome to the Wednesday edition of Litter Media Live with the icon Mike Smith. I'm Dan Ramey. Mr. Hand 2 is off to the upside down stalactite or stalagmite. I can't remember which is
back
which.
Down under again.
I think stalagmite comes from the ground because the M's look like stalagmites.
Makes sense.
So you would be
That's how I
stalactite.
remember it. Yes.
Okay. Tight because it's upside down.
I'll fix it real quick.
He was up all night, and he's just turned upside down.
That's the party version of...
hanging from the chandelier.
That's amazing. Now, if his hair would have been up, that'd have been cool.
Yeah.
Because then it would have looked like he was really hanging upside down. So, yeah. We have yet to hang him from the rafters in that regard. So, all right. Welcome to the program. Coming up in just a moment, we'll get you caught up to date on what's happening with news, weather, sports. Also, this date in history is all just around the corner. But let's go look at that weather because it is the absolute feature of the day.
Yeah, beautiful the next couple of days. Sunshine prevails. 76, our high today. Looks like 78 for tomorrow. Rain back in the picture for Friday and Saturday with some partly sunny skies on Sunday. So probably if you're looking at mowing the yard, you might want to get it done today. Some models are talking about the possibility of rain late Thursday afternoon, early evening. So I'm going to try to get my yard mowed later today.
I may try to do the same thing because I was in the middle of mowing my yard Saturday afternoon, and the hills were blocking the black sky that was approaching, and so I had to get it done as quickly as I could. I pulled out my phone, I looked at the radar, and I'm like, okay, I have time to put this away. So I drove into the shed, parked the mower. By the time I got to the back door, the first drop had hit me on the head. And so I got on inside the house, and then it just came down. 10 minutes of straight rain. We had 1.25 inches in the rain gauge.
A lot of wear.
And hail as well. So it was quite the little excitement on Saturday afternoon. All right, just ahead, we'll take a look at what's making news for us today. Stick close for that. But first, let's tell you about Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, your trusted comfort advisor. They have 8 different satellite locations across southern Ohio. And, of course, their main office is in Chillicothe, but they can take care of you if you're down in Lucasville, if you're in Portsmouth, if you're over in Dayton, if you're up in Columbus. They've got a blanket of coverage that they can help take care of you. You know, they are an award winner. They won the big award for commercial provider. You want to find out more about what they do? Just click on this ad anywhere you see it on our website, littermedia.com, and it takes you to accuratehvac.com.
Now that's one fast mower. Take command of your lawn with Dixie Chopper, the world's fastest lawnmower.
Find a career you love with Pickaway Ross Adult Education. Skilled trades careers are in high demand with no signs of slowing down. Pickaway Ross offers career training programs with expert instructors and hands-on learning tactics to create a variety of opportunities. Visit our website for more information.
This is Andy Tomlinson. When ensuring what's important to you, our agents are there when you need us the most. Tomlinson Insurance, for the best coverage at the best cost. Visit us online at tomlinsonins.com to learn more.
Haynes Total Health Care Center can take care of the chiropractic, physical therapy, and nutritional needs that you might have. If you need to find out more about them, it's simple. Just go to littermedia.com, and when you click on this ad anywhere you see it, it takes you to their website, hayneshealth.com. All of our social media information is in the right-hand corner of our littermedia.com, and that's where you find a lot of the information we're going to share with you today. If not on our website, on our social media. And we start today with the Ross County Historical Society.
Yeah, they're conducting their 129th annual meeting on April the 28th, where among items of business will be the presentation of their first Capital Awards. Kevin Coleman of Heritage Intrepid Services will be honored for Lifetime Achievement for Ross County History Preservation.
It says Mike Smith, Litter Media on it.
Well, he's not getting anything. Frankfort Presbyterian Church is being recognized for restoration and preservation of the church's stained glass windows. Chillicothe Monument and Hardy Memorials for the restoration and cleaning of the monuments of Soldiers Circle at Green Lawn Cemetery in Chillicothe, which we did a interview and a story on that last year. And also a reminder that Lou Speakman getting a similar award that Kevin Coleman is getting, Lifetime Achievement. Also, Ross County Historical Society President Dana Martinko is finishing her last 3-year term and will be leaving the board after 9 years.
Had Dana in here not long ago,
yes,
talking about her stint with the Ross County Historical Society, so hats off to all of you. The 50th anniversary of the Vietnam War will be commemorated with a wreath laying at the Ross County Vietnam Monument there at Yoctangee Parkway. That'll be tomorrow at 10 a.m. The gathering begins at 9:30 a.m. And what you see there is also the button that also commemorated the Vietnam War that the Daughters of the American Revolution made available to us here a couple of years ago.
Todd Huffman of the Pickaway County Veteran Services Office was our special edition guest yesterday on Litter Media Live. And Todd talked about what services they offer for veterans of Pickaway County.
Our office, we have 3 service officers. We have a brand new team. But they're all accredited now, and I'm really proud of them for stepping up and getting their accreditation stuff done. So we're pretty busy getting veterans in the office to file claims. If you're a county veteran, resident of Pickaway County for 90 days or more, we do offer financial assistance for those that need it. And also transportation to VA appointments. We do go to VA referred appointments as well, but for the most part, if you have a medical appointment at the VA or they're sending you somewhere else and you need a ride, you can call our office and get it set up.
And again, Todd reminded us of something that Bob Leach has told us on a number of occasions. Some of the veterans even get confused about the services offered by Veteran Service Council as opposed to the VA. They are not one and the same. The Veterans Council offices kind of helps you, guide you a little bit about some of the services that the VA offers. So they kind of hand you off to the VA organization.
And I appreciate Todd's efforts yesterday. I asked him, I said, can you help get rid of some American flags that have been retired? And he said, sure. And I had a couple down in my car. So we did 2 birds with 1 stone yesterday. We appreciate that. The Ashville Viking Festival is coming up this weekend at the Ashville Community Park. Magic shows, live music. You'll find Viking wares at the Saxon Market. Also, jousting will be taking place. We'll have food and a whole lot more. The festival opens each day at 10:30 a.m. and closes at 6 p.m. Saturday, 5 p.m. on Sunday. Admission is free, but they always every year collect non-perishable food items for the Asheville Food Pantry. So bring what you can, and it should be a lot of fun. And I believe we learned today that our Aaron Glandon might be going up there. It'd be cool to see him get some armor on and maybe give us some point of view video of what it's like to joust. Wouldn't that be cool?
Sure. And I'll learn to ride a horse, too.
Is this kind of like the Renaissance Festival in a way?
I don't know because I've never been to it.
But didn't you know the fellow that started this?
Ed Villette and I graduated together. We've known each other for years. He passed away, I think it's been about 15 years ago now. But Ed was a super guy. But he was a large individual and looked like a Viking. And he did dress the part, turkey leg, the whole deal. And they have participated with the Ohio Renaissance Festival. So you may see some of those same folks you see there up in Asheville this weekend. The Feast of the Flowering Moon is not too far away from us, and our friends at the Ross Chillicothe Convention and Visitors Bureau posting some of the entertainment that's going to be taking place, like Shady Ray Yeah, remember Ray Martin? Mm-hmm. He's got the band, Shady Ray. That'll be on May 23rd. Felony 4 is a pretty popular band. They'll be on the main stage on opening night from 8 until 10 p.m. Danny Hines, who's a friend of the program, along with Jamie Baxter. Far From Angels, someone I'm not familiar with. I have to learn more about them. And Ashley Huffer Trio, who's fantastic, all taking place in Whiskey Ridge, wrapping things up for you, too, on May 25th. So big weekend is upon us. And I'm trying to remember how many years it's been now. I want to say it's closing in on 50.
That sounds about right.
So, because it was started in 1984. So, my Taze Valley math.
Well, no, that wouldn't be 50.
So, it's at least 40 years old.
Yeah. So, mark your calendar for July the 26th. The 13th annual local 300 Firefighters Association golf outing to benefit MDA will be held on July 26th at Dogwood Hills Golf Course. Now, registration that day is 9 a.m., and the shotgun start gets it going at 10 a.m.
Should be a lot of fun.
Our road report today takes us to neighboring Jackson County, State Route 139, culvert replacement, a culvert replacement project to begin between Herbert Harold Road and Courtney McCoy Road. This project is set to begin, well, actually it began 2 days ago. 139 is closed for the duration of the project. Detours are State Route 32 to State Route 93 to West Maple Avenue, and that project will be going throughout the spring.
And didn't you mention yesterday that today is the day that they'll actually have everything set up on Bridge Street now?
Well, at least those left turns that are typically prohibited that are going to be allowed were supposed to start. I came down that way from the hospital this morning, doctor's appointment, and they have done, I saw nothing going on.
Okay.
So that doesn't mean it won't pick up here today, but as of 8:30 or 8:45, nothing was happening.
Mm-hmm. Just be careful as you're out there. And they continue to set the new poles and everything out 772 through South Central Power and what they're doing there. Yesterday, as I was coming into work, I saw one of the largest augers I've ever seen drilling a hole, and it looked like it was about 6 feet in diameter.
Wow.
And they have a large bracket cage type thing they're going to put down in there, pour some cement around it, and then set the pole. So traffic might be stopped for a little bit on 772 while they do some of that work.
Something else when I was out there this morning, and we received nothing on this, so I don't know if this came up on the spur of the moment. From the Route 207 connector, northbound ramp to get onto 23, they had that blocked. They're paving 23 at the base of that ramp, but they had a truck across the on-ramp for 23 northbound where you couldn't get on there. So I don't know. In fact, yesterday I got off of East Main to try to get on 23. Well, it had me routed all the way north of town. I couldn't go west on 35 where that crossover is supposed to take. So wasn't expecting that either. So just be prepared for some unexpected surprises.
A couple of old guys to tell you, give yourself plenty of time, you know? Remember when we were younger and it was like, why does mom and dad always show up 20 minutes before a doctor's appointment? What are they doing? Well, now we know.
If the guy that I sat next to at breakfast this morning at the other table, if he were on the road experiencing he would have had a fit. I mean, he was just mumbling and griping with every bite, and I'm thinking, man, he's having a bad day, Lord. Help him out.
Our fearful leader, or speaking of Mr. Matt Litter, I was on the phone with him this morning, coming down 23, where all those barrels are. I'd gone out, I was crossing 207 to get onto 23. This semi pulled in front of me. I allowed him to get on the road in front of me. And so we're driving 50 miles an hour. This thing is brushing every one of the barrels. And I told him, I said, boss, if I get distracted, I just want to let you know I'm watching this truck in front of me. Because he was trying to stay off the rumble strip on the inside, but he was, and every one of those orange barrels was moving just a little bit. And it wasn't from the wind. It was because he was physically hitting them. And so I told him, I may get distracted here. Just want to let you know.
It's like barrel racing. You can graze the barrel, but don't knock it over.
Right. And he was doing that to every one of them. So I don't know how many other truck drivers are doing that too. So, all right, coming up in just a moment, a look at sports details next. But first, let's tell you about Scioto Valley Dumpsters. 740-253-8389 is the number to call. If you've got a need for a dumpster at your residence or your place of business, they can help you out. 740-253-8389.
Our mobile banking app is changing the way we bank. Things are getting easier, transactions are getting safer, and you have access 24/7. All the functionality of banking you're used to, made easier to use, anywhere, anytime, and more secure than ever. Simple, seamless, safe. Download our Kingston National Bank mobility app today.
Whenever I first applied for the Archways opportunity, do I have to pay this back? Do I have to do that? Like, is it a loan? And it's not. It's a scholarship. A goal of mine is to graduate college debt-free. If you're a crew member, you get $2,500 a year, and if you're a manager, you get $3,000. And especially if you're going locally to college, like to the branch or something like that, it's really helpful.
As a basketball coach and a dad, I need to be able to keep up.
Mark came to the Adena Orthopedic and Spine Institute in severe arm pain from a degenerative disc.
I was so confident in Dr. Fleming, he explained everything.
Together, they decided on minimally invasive spinal surgery to relieve Mark's pain and get him back to what matters most. At Adena, we do what we love, so you can too.
Hometown Motors Incorporated, 818 Eastern Avenue in Chillicothe. Their spring sales event continues. They have push mowers. We're talking about the walk-behinds, starting at $399.99. Brand new. Also, brand new zero-turn mowers starting at $3399.99. How about this? Starting at $1699.99, new riding tractors. New chainsaws starting at $279.99. Also new blowers starting at $199.99, and new trimmers starting at $229.99. Hurry in for the best selection. With prices like this, they won't last long. I was in there the other day. There's a lot of things being moved around because they're making room for things that are being sold.
I feel like I need to be making some effect or something while you're reading this to give it some...
Just sit there and look pretty. As best you can.
That's easy to do.
Hometown Motors, your store for the outdoors. Time for sports, and last night you were out with the Cavaliers and the Indians.
I was out with the ladies last night. Hillsborough has claimed no worse than a share of the FAC softball championship with a 16-0 win over Chillicothe last night. Lady Indians need only one more win out of their final 2 league games to win the championship outright. They've won 5 straight FAC softball crowns. That's Cameron Sproul that you see on the screen. She fired a 2-hit shutout, fanning 12 Chillicothe batters. And in the 2-game series, back-to-back nights, Hillsborough outscored Chillicothe 34-0. Unfortunately for the Cavs, C.J. Reniger, their top pitcher, was unable to go either of those games due to a back injury, and they're hoping to get her healed up and be ready for the postseason.
Shows what a difference one player makes, especially if they are one of those nice pitchers. Yeah, and she's just a sophomore.
As I signed off last night, I said, no offense to the Hillsborough team, but can you imagine what your team would be impacted without Cameron Sproul?
Right.
Those 2 pitchers are 2 of the top strikeout leaders in the state of Ohio. Mm-hmm. So there's the impact of what those 2 pitchers have done for those 2 teams.
Turning to baseball, I want to thank Cindy Ramey for this video of a walk-off for the Waverly Tigers last night. They defeated Division I Gahanna Lincoln out of VA Memorial Stadium last night. What I wish we could really share with you is where she was going, because I asked her, I said, Cindy, was that you? And she says, yes, that was me. But nice win, and this is one of those signature wins for a team like the folks there at Waverly.
Now, some of the other scores from last night, as we mentioned, of course, Chillicothe losing to Hillsborough. McLean, who Hillsborough finishes up with 2 games. McLean walloped Washington 19-1. Non-conference winners, Logan Elm, Wheelersburg, Piketon, Southeastern, Miami Trace. Jackson wins 2 out of state. They play New Jersey and teams out of New York. Sims Valley, Eastern Brown, West Union, Lynchburg Clay, Fairfield, North Adams, Southern, Belpre, and Eastern Meigs. Baseball. FAC. I heard the end of this game. Mm-hmm. Chillicothe and a walk-off. I don't know what happened, but I heard it right behind me. 6-5 over Hillsborough. McLean beat Washington. Sims Valley over Western. West Union. Fairview, Kentucky beat Greene. Non-conference softball. Uniota over Logan Elm. Baseball. That was a late one also out at VA Memorial Stadium last night. Tony Taylor, I think it was about 11 o'clock when they finally got the score from him. Here's another big matchup. DeSales and a slugfest. This is baseball over Circleville, 13-10. Of course, you saw the Waverly Inn. Look at that score. Miami Trace baseball beating Wilmington 20-1. Jackson baseball also playing some teams out of the Carolinas. They got a win. Wahama, West Virginia. I love saying that, Wahama.
Yeah, it sounds good.
Sounds like something from Hawaii. Gallia Academy, also Lynchburg, Clay, Fairfield, White Oak, Manchester, Eastern Meigs, Nelsonville, York, Waterford, and Trimble.
If they had a women's baseball team, they could call them the Wahama Mamas. I think that would be really cool.
That would work. Yeah, I think we're going to track or tennis next. Track. Zane Trace Invitational. Waverly boys and Waverly girls win team titles last night at the ZT Invitational. And in boys volleyball, Chillicothe over Hartley in straight sets. And in boys tennis, Chillicothe ran their FAC record to 5-0 with a shutout of Miami Trace.
And a reminder that you'll have volleyball tomorrow night here on Litter Media Radio.
Chillicothe boys against Whetstone airtime somewhere around 6:45.
And Sarah's not helping you out this time. It's your wife.
My wife, who knows a little bit about volleyball, she's going to provide color. I think I have to take her out to dinner to pay her. So
with a Chillicothe win, can she count that as part of her wins?
No.
That'd be cool if she could do that. I mean, Andrew Vitito would let her have that if it was a win, right?
I don't. I think Andrew would like to have that.
He might want to hang on to it. All right, coming up in a moment, this date in history. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I thought we were done with sports. We went through so many of the high school stuff. Yeah. The Portsmouth Lions semi-pro football team is looking for wide receivers along with offensive and defensive linemen for their upcoming season. There's a team fee, $50 to join, and you will be provided home and away uniforms. Lions are a 2-time division champion in the 2023 league runner-up. Let's bring in our expert, the one and only Aaron Glandon, to tell us more about the Amateur Football League.
Premier something. Let me look up. Because I didn't know I was going to be doing this.
Aaron's trying out for Waterboy.
PSAFL, the Premier something Amateur Football League.
Premier Amateur Football League. What else did you want to know?
The closest teams to them?
There's a Columbus team. There's a West Virginia team. There's a Michigan team. They're all over. But it looks like mostly in the Appalachia region.
You thought I was kidding when I said, well, have you tell us more about it?
Yes, I thought you were kidding.
We were sitting here in our conference beforehand, and I said, hey, we'll just let you tell us about all that stuff. So nothing like being put on the spot, is there?
Right.
They're looking for linemen and wide receivers, so give them a call there. Mm-hmm. Reds lose to the Marlins, second straight loss for Cincy, 4-3. They wrap that up in Miami this afternoon. The Guardians have won 2 straight against the Pinstripes. The Yankees, 3-2 last night, I believe that score was. Is that right? 3-2 Yanks?
Yes.
Okay. And Game 2 of the NBA series with Cleveland and the Miami Heat in Cleveland is tonight.
Mm-hmm. All right, coming up now, I can say this.
Yes.
This date in history, and we go back to...
What Thou Art birthday we're talking about today.
The 1500s, it sounds like,
yes.
With William Shakespeare.
Speaking of way back, 92 years of serving propane users in southern and central Ohio. Reliable supply, reliable service, reliable people. We're talking Litter Quality Propane.
Introducing the Petland Litter Media Pet of the Week. We want to put your pet in the spotlight. Pets with paws to pets with fins. If they gallop, crawl, or slither, play fetch, or simply curl up and snuggle. Send us a photo of your pet and we'll announce a new pet each week. And one pet will be crowned Pet of the Year. To nominate your pet, visit littermedia.com. Click on Pet of the Week. Tell us about your pet and be sure to include a photo. Watch Litter Media Live each Thursday for the announcement of the Petland Litter Media Pet of the Week. No purchase necessary. Contest applications must be from Ohio residents and at least 18 years old. Each week, we'll announce the Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Litter Media Player of the Week, presented by Homeland Credit Union. And in December, we'll announce the Player of the Year. Nominate any amateur athlete by visiting littermedia.com and click on Player of the Week. You'll also see the players we've named throughout the year. Make your nomination today for the Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Litter Media Player of the Week, presented by Homeland Credit Union. Discover Ross County. From the breathtaking outdoor adventures to the historic sights of Chillicothe and family-friendly events and festivals. Explore more at visitchillicotheohio.com or download the free mobile app today.
Life. It can get on top of you quickly, can't it? But with 211, it only takes one step to get connected to the help you need. 211 is always available to help. So get in touch today.
The Bean Foundation wants to raise awareness about suicide prevention by sharing 988. Trained crisis counselors are available to talk 24/7, 365 days a year. 988. Save the number. Save a life. To learn more about the Bean Foundation, click on this ad on littermedia.com.
Time to use our theatrical voices for this date in history with Mike Smith.
1564. Was it today or not today? The day that William Shakespeare is born. Most historians, by best reckoning, attribute April 23rd as his birthday. And how they came up with that was that church records show that Shakespeare was baptized on April the 26th. And 3 days was a customary amount of time to wait before baptizing a newborn. So they don't know for a fact he was born on April 23rd. They're just taking back 3 days from what they know historically was his baptism date and saying he was born on April 23rd. Now, the significance of that, 52 years later, William Shakespeare died on April the 23rd.
Died on his birthday?
His birthday.
How about that?
That's a heck of a...
Well, your birthday is the same as your death day. That's odd.
Yeah. So you were born and died on the same date of the 23rd.
That image that was shown there from the History Channel, am I right or wrong? Is this like an optical illusion? It looks like his face was painted first, or maybe it was added to the body.
AI.
Doesn't it look like it's off?
AI from 1564?
Yeah.
I don't know.
His left shoulder looks like he might have been dislocated or something.
Now he looks more casual than other paintings that I've seen.
Yeah.
Bill Shakespeare. 1564. Bill Shakespeare. We were just like that. We were really close.
What was his middle name?
I don't know that I know. I don't think I've ever seen or heard of his nickname.
Aaron, our producer is on this as quickly as he was with the Amateur Football League information.
I think it's probably like William Allen.
William Shakespeare did not have a middle name because they were rare in Elizabethan England.
How about that?
Really?
Well, there you go. That's why I've never seen his middle name. Okay.
You learned something today.
Did you like Shakespeare? I mean, did you like doing Shakespeare stories and things of that nature in literature?
The good thing about this is I never had to study Shakespeare in high school.
Lucky guy.
My wife did. And here's the funny thing is whenever we watch Jeopardy and the Shakespeare portion comes up, I'm out. You know, I just back away. She's like that with geography. Oh. But with this, I'm out. And so we always joked because I did better, performed better in a lot of the questions than she did. And I would joke about having that going to Taze Valley, a higher level of institution of thinking and learning and all than where she went to school. And then she comes out and she nails all the Shakespeare stuff. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe I didn't go to a higher school of learning.
Trying to read that Elizabethan language or whatever.
It's a lot like reading the King James version.
I feel like
of the
I'm
Bible.
reading Greek. Give me something else. Yeah, give me Mickey Spillane or something to read. Yeah.
But a lot of the thespians that we see come out to the Scioto Society, they've performed Shakespeare on a side for a number of years and all. And so you have to study it, I guess, if you want to be a...
Well, they've had Shakespeare out at the amphitheater. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they're doing that again this year or not.
I don't know.
It was like they take a day or a weekend or something and do like one or two shows.
We will have Brandon Smith in with us coming up in May. So, of course, they will start their production coming June 12th, I think, is the first night. And so they'll have all the actors in usually by mid-May. And one of those is a local guy who's playing the part of Tecumseh this year. So excited about that. And they also are joining us as a sponsor. So we'll have a lot about Scioto Society on a regular basis here before too long. All right, that's a look at the program for today.
And you have an interview tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock.
I do?
Yes. Unless it got canceled. That's what I had on my calendar.
Let's see. We're all checking our calendars.
Lydia Price of Young Life.
Ah, yes, thank you. Coming in to talk about their golf outing that they'll be having. Sorry, Lydia.
I'm his secretary. I have to remind him. Yeah.
It's usually...
Honey, you have another appointment.
I prep for the show like about 15 minutes before we take the air. Yeah. So, all right, but yes, we'll talk Young Life Ross County and what they are up to these days, plus about their golf outing. All tomorrow here on another edition of Litter Media Live. Thanks for watching.